Hello. So, Amazing Spider Man number 12 is very different from the previous issue. The previous issue of Spider Man had him sort of in a galactic battle against a villain named Scorpio, and this one, well, him and Iron Man team up to fight a villain. So, it's called Power Play. So, the issue begins with Peter and Harry at a party, and they run into Mary Jane. She now works for Tony Stark, and there's a bit of animosity between Tony and Peter. The party's happening at an associate of Tony Stark's called Augustus, and he's the head of this company called Empire Unlimited. And he's a big butch guy, and he's the target of the current villain. And this villain is a guy called Ghost, and he has the ability to phase through things, and it looks like it gives him super strength as well. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Tony Stark, Iron Man team up, and at first they're like more interested in fighting with each other. They're like claiming who has the rights to this villain. Spider-Man's like, it's my villain, and Tony Stark's like, no, it's mine. And then they finally decide to work together. So it's interesting. They were trying to fight Ghost on their own, but every time they attempted to take him down solo, he would just get the upper hand and counter whatever move they were going to use, because there's a reference in the comic where he's like, oh, I saw your latest move on YouTube. You're not going to get me with this one. And I think that's an interesting kind of dynamic now that social media and information is so commonplace on the internet. Like, it's hard for these superheroes to keep their tricks secret or their plans secret. So I think that was really fascinating, and I would like to see a comic that dives into that idea more. But then they work together and they pull out some new tricks and they end up taking him down. I think it was awesome that Harry Osborn, he changed his name to something like Lyman. He says how like he wants to leave his father's name behind him. I like that idea. I mean, they would only put that in there if they plan on taking that somewhere interesting. So I think that could be cool. And then the issue, the end is probably the most interesting part, because Ghost's target, the villain's target, Augustus, his company is like in charge of containing supervillains. It's kind of like Arkham, but much more sinister, because they take villains and they put them in these pods and fill the pods with this weird liquid. It seems to like freeze them. It kind of goes to a long shot where it shows who his next targets are, and it's Spider-Man and all these other superheroes, and it goes into that like he has a grudge against mutants or any super abilitied being. So that's obviously where the issue is going, and this is like the first part of Augustus's power play. He's the one that's going to be the villain of this arc, and I think it was a really good issue. Very different from the previous issue, but really, really fun, and it's going places. It was a little slow at the beginning, but when it picks up, it's pretty good.